MegaPodTastic.
After all these years, it's time for an Unbreakable sequel. Haha! Good morning, MegaPodlings. Krazy Joe here, about to see Glass, and I'm here with this guy.
Oh, Joe, you're at the movies too?
What a coincidence! I'm seeing ass.
That's what I'm seeing. Somebody said come to the movie theater and you can see some ass. I'm not going to pass that up. Who could pass on ass? Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By my favorite director. That guy. I don't know how you say that. I think it's SpaghettiOs.
So let me ask you a question.
Mr. Knight's SpaghettiOs.
I read some reviews of this.
Oh, look, and Samuel Jackson's with us too. What's up? Just hanging out with me.
I read some reviews of this movie, and they're saying that most of the negative reviews, I don't know if you've read the negative reviews, they're saying Bruce Willis kind of sleepwalks through the movie and doesn't seem like he wants to be there. He's not very invested. That's most of the negative reviews. Now, I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Don't you just expect that from a Bruce Willis movie these days?
Yeah, when was the last time he didn't sleepwalk through a movie?
I mean, there's a word for that. It's called you're seeing a Bruce Willis movie, post-90s.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That makes sense, yeah.
Let's go check this out.
All right, we're going to see some ass.
All right, we're out of glass. We are out of glass.
We're out of them? We got to go get some, then. Get some more at the store.
We got to get some more glass.
Yeah.
What did you think of Glass?
Well, I don't want to spoil the ending, except for the fact that the trees make everyone see dead people, and the only thing I can stop it would be swing away. Dude, I just did it. I just ruined the ending of it.
You did. You totally ruined it.
Ignore that. Ignore that. It had nothing to do with that. It was Earth. They're on Earth the whole time.
That was Planet of the Apes.
Did it again. Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Weakest of the three, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's like deserves.
Not happening.
I don't think it deserves 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not that bad.
It's not happening.
It's solid, but not great. Is that fair?
Yeah, it came across as kind of TV movie-ish.
Yeah, well, then it came out that he had to finance it himself, so I can kind of get why. It's like it's very contained in a room.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I enjoy watching James McAvoy going on his different personalities. It's a highlight of the movie.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the highlight. I mean, if Bruce Willis is phoning it in, McAvoy certainly is not. So.
No.
But all right, we're gonna wrap this here and get out of here. I'll come back later and give you more thoughts. So, say goodbye to Dave. Whom, by the way, at the end of February, you can catch at Disney Springs as part of the festival. Oh, you're not? You're not doing this?
No, I am not.
Okay. Well, give the dates. What dates?
February
27th?
2nd through the 25th.
22nd through the 25th.
February 22nd through the 25th in Epcot at the Festival of the Arts.
Oh, it's at Epcot. It's not at Disney Springs?
No, it's at Epcot. It's the Festival of the Arts, which starts today.
Well, I think you
the
have...
link down below will show you that it starts today, which I don't know. There's no link. I just like to do that. When people do that.
I'll put a link
They
down
point to
below
a link.
or something.
They put a link down below.
I'll put a link.
Picture of a dog riding a skateboard.
Yeah, dog riding a
Here's
skateboard right
picture.
there.
That's the link down below. I want to see that. I want to see it.
You will have a slight overlap. You and Cinema Sickness are going to be in Disney at the same time, so you guys are going to have an overlap of maybe a day or two.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I think you can go like pin hunting together or
I'm
something.
gonna go find some pins. Yeah, I'm gonna go pinning. I think I need something else.
I don't know what that means. Do I have to go to
Urban
Urban Dictionary?
From the Urban Dictionary on what pinning means.
All right. It is really hard to believe that this movie, Unbreakable, came out 19 years ago, but it did. 19 years ago. This is a movie that when it first came out, and I remember because I was there when it first came out. I don't know how young some of my viewers are. Some of you may not have been there when this first came out, but when this movie first came out, a lot of people were expecting The Sixth Sense all over again, and I remember there was some disappointment. Some people were like, that wasn't as good as The Sixth Sense. But over time, this came to be known to a lot of movie fans as M. Night Shyamalan's best movie. A lot of people still think it's M. Night Shyamalan's best movie, Unbreakable. I personally don't know that I'd say best. I have quite an affinity for the movie Signs, but this is definitely a great movie, and if it's not his best, it's his second best. I really love Unbreakable. And at the time, there were rumors that it was going to be a trilogy. We always heard, I remember Ain't It Cool News, a website that has had a fall from grace, but at the time was like the entertainment website people went to. But Ain't It Cool News had said that there was going to be a trilogy called Unbreakable, Breakable, and Broken. That was their thing. It turned out not to be the case. And I always heard Shyamalan say, no, there's probably not going to ever be a sequel to Unbreakable. So despite what people said, he kind of, in the interviews I heard, always said, no, there's not going to be a sequel. So it was a big surprise a couple of years ago when the movie Split came out. And in the final scene of the movie, we find out Split was a sequel to Unbreakable. Nobody knew that going into Split. And I got to be honest with you, that was one rare case of a spoiler that I didn't mind hearing the spoiler, because I probably would not have gone to see the movie had I not heard the spoiler. If I was not aware Split was a sequel to Unbreakable, I probably wouldn't have seen Split, because Shyamalan kind of had a fall from grace. He made some really bad movies like After Earth and The Happening and Lady in the Water, and he had a real string of failure. So I kind of had written Shyamalan off. And if I hadn't heard that spoiler, hey, guess what, guys? It's a sequel, I might not have gone to see Split. But I did go see Split, and I really, really liked it. So I was excited for Glass. Now, as Dave and I told you in the first half of this video, I do believe Glass is the weakest of the trilogy. I think this is the weakest one, but it's not bad. It's definitely worth seeing, and I think it brings the trilogy to a very satisfying close. I like where they take these characters. It all makes sense. It all ties together. I think it's really, really well done for the ending. The problem with the movie is it kind of meanders through the middle in this one location, and it starts to get a little slow and a little bit boring. I think it's a victim of the budget. Now, it's been reported M. Night Shyamalan funded this out of his own pocket, and I think if he had more money, it would have been a better movie, because it's very self-contained, very talky, and sometimes talky's not a bad thing. Like, I mean, that's not, that's not a terrible criticism for a movie, but sometimes talky works, sometimes talky doesn't work, and I think in Glass it was a little too talky. It needed a little more. It needed a little more something to push the story forward in the middle section of the movie. So I think it really was a victim of its budget. But I like where it takes these characters, and if you are a fan of Unbreakable, and if you are a fan of Split, I say you got to see Glass. Now, I will say this. A lot of people have criticized Bruce Willis, saying that he was phoning it in. He was sleepwalking through the movie. Well, as Dave and I said at the beginning, that's what you get from Bruce Willis these days. It just is. Bruce Willis checked out years ago. He's there collecting paychecks now. I don't remember, what was the last time you saw a great Bruce Willis performance? Comment down below if you can think of a really great Bruce Willis performance in the last decade. I want to know what it is. Please tell me, because I don't remember. But yeah, so you go in, you kind of expect that. That's what you're going to get, because it's Bruce Willis. On the other side of the coin, James McAvoy, man, he's not phoning it in. As the multiple personalities of Kevin Wendell Crumb, he brings it. He brought it in Split. He brings it again here. The guy is probably the MVP of the movie, and he makes it all worthwhile. I say see Glass. It's a trilogy capper, 19 years in the making. And it's one that I think a lot of us had given up and thought, well, we're never going to see a sequel to Unbreakable. But boom, here it is. It's out right now. You've waited 19 years for it. And come on, if you sat through The Happening or Lady in the Water or The Village, I mean, no matter how bad the reviews are, this is certainly not the worst thing you've seen from Shyamalan. And I think it's worthwhile. So keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas. But no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.